Hey, how you guys doing? Ivy Aiko X. What's up? Alright, so converting the 4-digit into the 9-digit. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need to do is take out any combinations you might have done. Now, obviously I'm going to link this as the continuation on the 4-digit combination. So you need to revert this to stock, and then we can go ahead and just disregard the input because it's going to be turning on and off as we're changing it, so we don't really need it. So first thing we need to do is get rid of the old keypad. Alright, so this is a 4, we need a 9. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we should have a total of 9 repeaters here, which tells you that we need to extend this by 9. We also need our keypad. It needs to be 1, 2, 3, and then 4 away. And then if you look here, it should be 3 on that side, 3 on that side, which makes right here dead center of the new keypad, which has the 9 digits. Alright, so this can get kind of complicated, so I'm going to do it a little bit slower than I did on the last one, because you do need to see each individual one. So from here, we need to dig it to that torch, because this needs to be powered from underneath. So that redstone is going to power that. This repeater is going to prevent that from connecting, and then we can just run it up like that for now. Alright, so these two can be powered directly. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to go redstone and then repeaters. I do mine a little bit different because you can actually keep this to 2 repeaters delay instead of having 3, which some are done that way. So the next one we need is the power from this middle area, which is a repeater there. Like that, so a total of 2. And I'm going to make it day real quick. Alright, so we have a total of 4 hooked up now. So these side ones we need to do next. So we can do the same as what we did on the 4-digit for those. So we can get the power off of these. And then I'm going to go ahead and put blocks on them like that. So these ones are going to connect into these. But before we do that, we need to get these ones. So if you look at these, you can place redstone and get these 2 torches on the very top, and we can power those. So that's why we block this off. So what we're going to do is just do the same exact thing, just like that. So as you can see here, we are only getting 1 repeater's worth of delay on this. So I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 ticks to make them all 2 repeaters worth. Alright, so now we just need to hook this one in. So this one needs to come in here, and we're going to go ahead and block it off. And I will say there are other ways you can do this, but this is how I do it. So there you go. So we got 2. And that's what mainly this is to make it, if you have 1 on 3 ticks, 1 on 2, when you hit those buttons you have to wait a little bit, if that makes any sense. So anyway, we need to do the same as we did over there with this one. Go ahead and block it off. And I will say this is just how I do it. So there's better ways we can do this, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that. So this would just be 2 because we already have 1 in there, and it's right there. So that's 2. We have it blocked off. This is how I do mine, and it's just easier that way. It's also only 2 ticks of delay, like that. So these are all separated individually. If you do find that 2 of them are being connected, then you know something's up. So we have this one last one to do here. And I would start with a little step of 3. And so this one's a little different because we have to go up over the top to get it. So we need a repeater here to prevent that torch from interfering with it. And then just come on down. And there you go. So we should get individuals now. There you go. So the next thing is we just need to basically make 5 more rows of the blue and pink, and then we need 5 more arrays. So as far as doing double digits on this, of course you can do double digits as long as you hold to the same rules as we did on the 4-digit, which, you know, obviously if you're watching this you probably came from that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dig this all out. What we need to dig is the same thing we had before, which is 2 down by 5 long, and connect them in, and you're going to need 9 of those. So you might want to just you know, wait until I'm done and then copy it. So I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright, so I got this dug out. This is what we should have now. So now we just need to make 4 arrays. I'm not going to worry about extending anything. So we're going to do this the same as we did before. So first thing we need to do is get our blue circuits in, which is we need 5 more, and then it needs to be in width 5 onto it, which basically means we're going to need 5 more blue circuits, 5 more arrays, which is the black circuit. And real easy. Probably the hardest part about this is figuring out your combination. So I'm going to show you guys something that I do personally. Now I will say it is cool to do double digits, but sometimes it's easier and faster to do something like a pattern, and I'll show you guys that. So all we need now is some torches. So I'm going to go ahead and stick torches on all these, and then we'll start on the arrays. Alright, so now that we got that done, we can go ahead and start on our arrays. So if you remember from the other video, we did a pattern of basically a repeater every other, like so. Just like that. So it should be redstone for 3, then 2, then 3, then 2, and then 3. Alright, so we just want to copy what we already have, which would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 3. Just like that. Then we'll need blocks here, just like we did on that one. And then we're going to need torches in between these little channels. And then on the opposite end of the longer one, you'll need those torches. Then we'll need redstone. And we'll only need redstone to the end, or 1 from the end. Then we'll need our torches. And now we're going to go ahead and put in the RS NOR patch. Now you do want to start from this end, so on this one we got, so it goes 2 then 1, so we're going to need a total of 2 there. So 2 repeaters and then some redstone, and then we'll need 1 repeater, redstone, and it's just the same pattern as what we've been doing. So this last one, it's not going to be powering anything but the same torch. So you can see here that this is going to need to be blocked off. I'm going to go ahead and use sandstone on this extra circuit. Anywhere that it gets connected, I'm just going to go ahead and block it off. So that should be the array done. Now we need the latch gate part of it, which would be right behind every torch. And then just to kind of make it easier, I just kind of run a straight line of wool across, knock out every other, like that. You're going to need redstone. Then we will need repeaters, then torches. So that's what we should have now. So the easiest part here is just copying it. I mean, that's all we're doing. We just added on 5 more arrays so we can get 5 more combinations. So what we need to do is just add our note blocks, extend this out on all of them, and then basically copy what we already have, which means we need 5 more of these circuits, and then they need the repeaters. So if you guys remember the last one, I only took this to there, to right above this. That way I knew where I needed my repeaters. That way there would be no problems. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. That way we'll have time to hook this up to something. Alright, so we have this all done. So we just need to put in the combinations that we would like. So you want to make sure that it's an exact replica of the 4 that we did. So I'm just showing you what it would look like. And then as soon as we get our combination in, we're going to hook something up here. Nobody really requested anything but a death room, which I will say that would be a whole nother video because it would just take a lot of time. So I will remind anybody that's watching this that this is a just slightly modified version of CMBs. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just basically make a little wall here, a little keypad to let me know, just like that. It's what I do. And so to make our combination, first you have to figure out what it is. So you could either write it down or do whatever, and then of course, you know, what I do is I go, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you want double digits, just follow the same rules as we did on the 4-digit, but me, I'm going to do something a little different. What I'm going to do a circle within a circle. And what that means is that I'm going to basically do this one, this one, this one, this one, and then another circle, which would be the outside corners, and then the last digit will be the middle. And it's just a really fast way to do it. It's how I do it. So we have our first one marked, which should be the very end. So I'm going to grab white wool, and we're going to do the same thing we did last time, which is go to the very back of this, because that's the first digit, knock this out. We're going to come in here. Now you can of course make this array as big as you want to, like you could add in as many of these arrays as you want to. So that's our first digit. You knock it out, put a block up, and then leave the torch out, and then that one's done. And then when I turn this, delete this lever, you should see this back one getting powered. Turning that off. There we go. So now we just go to the next digit. So this was my first one. This is going to be second digit. So we need to go to the second row, and you can see it's right close to this one. Come on in here. So as far as picking your digits, whatever you would like to have, that's what you put. If you want 1, 2, 3, do that. If you want 1, 5, 1, do that. Whatever it is that you like. So I'm using the levers so that I know, and then I'm leaving the buttons out so I know that I've already covered those, because it is 9 digits. So third row, this one's nice and close. Yeah, this is really easy. If you've done the 4-digit, you got the 4-digit working. Now this is the only one that you need. So we come to the 4th digit. Yeah, just adding these segments on, adding the arrays to the 9-digit. You could actually make this a 20-digit combination lock, but I will say that would be quite hefty. So what I got right now is I got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 for my combo. So now I'm going to do this one. So that's going to be my next digit. And so we need to come to the 5th. And this is just the easy way of doing it. Of course, you could do this any old way you want to. Like I said. I know I keep saying it, but delete that. Now I'm on my, I think it's the 6th one, which is over there. Yeah, I've always liked CMB's combination lock, even though it can be a little hefty on material. I never really go past 4 digits like I had told you guys. I never really go beyond the 4-digit one. No real reason to have a 9-digit for me, if you ask. But it is fun to build, and once you've made a 9, you know, and you put it in somewhere, it is cool to show friends that you'd put that kind of redstone in. And so we're down to the last 2 digits. So I'm going to see if these are close to each other, which they are, so I'm only going to activate this one. So the circle within a circle makes it so you can do the combination really fast compared to others. And it's just because the way that it's put in, and I'll show you when we enter in the combination. Alright, so one more to do. Alright, so last digit. Nobody really commented and said, you know, anything other than do the 9-digit tutorial, but they didn't really comment on, you know, hey, can you go into more explanation on how you can do double digits? Nothing like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and just guess at what you guys want. That is one of the reasons why I asked the questions, you know, what do you guys want? Because I can make this any way, you know, any way I want to. So anyway, it is almost dark time, so I'm going to go ahead and do the combo real quick. So it should be, this is our first digit. Should see the very back one light up, and we did. And then 2, 3, 4. And then another circle, which would be these end corners, clockwise of course. And then the last one to open right there. So you could see that it opened up. Now I had a couple people comment and said I've done CMB's lock before, and what happened was you could hit the last digit and it would just open it up. So that only happens if you didn't do the patch, which is these holes here. If you don't put this patch in, it's not going to work. And what ends up happening is when you activate, for instance, keypad 1 or digit 1, it would activate 1 digit no matter where it is. So then if you were to hit the last digit, which would be this one, it would just open it up. But you can see that that's not what's happening. So I'm going to make it day, and then we are going to hook this up to something. Alright, so we just need to hook this up to something. So we are going to be making a total of 2 circuits, and we're going to need 3 lines. So we need to make a reset, and then we need to make basically a temporary open, and then we need to hook up our output to whatever device we're doing. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to basically just use a jab door. So bring this a decent distance away from the actual lock itself. So there's our faceplate. Now I will say you could make this out of obsidian, but there's really no point. This is more for show, I will say, because you can get through anything, you know, if you TIG long enough. So, you know, these aren't the combination locks. They're just fun to make and they're cool. and they're cool to show to friends. So there's 1/2 my jeb door. We need to go a spacing of 3 over, which should leave us with 2 in there. So we should have a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. We're going to need repeaters over the pistons that are facing forward. The one in back needs 2 delay. Then we need redstone torches. And then sponges. Now I'm just making this one because we're not doing this on I have it on creative obviously, but it should give us a decent door. There we go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and complete this, and I'm gonna make this a standard just a chest room. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this so that there's a chest in here with a control panel. So what I usually do is make this kind of look like a funnel door, because we don't need an input on this side to open it. We need a temporary open, which we can put over here. So all I need to do now is just make my room. So I'm basically just going to have 2 chests here, and then I'm going to have 3 buttons here, all to do what we want it to do. So, which means I'm going to need to get rid of that. Yeah, I would have hooked it up to the staircase or whatever, but nobody really actually said, said anything. So I figured I would just show you guys, the bare minimum what you need for this. So I'm going to do the same over here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is represent these with colors. So what I'm thinking is red is going to be, let's see, let's actually do that. We'll do that after. First thing we need to do is get our input, which is this. So I am going to use a torch tower straight off of it, coming up, and then I'm going to bring the input here. So this door by default's open, so we need to invert it. So this torch is always going to power it. It's also going to make it so people can't just come up here and hit a lever on it and open it. It's going to always be being powered. So this would update, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it straight across the ceiling at an angle like this. Just bring it away from the pistons. Alright, so the lock is off, so this door should be closed. So that should be perfect. Now when I enter in the combination, it opens up. So now what we need is a reset. So we got our power hooked up to it. So now we just need to run the reset here. So what I'm going to do here is just block this area off real quick, and we need to run a button here. So I'm thinking reset should probably be like blue or red maybe. I'm going to go ahead and just use blue for that. Blue letting me know that I can close the door behind me, or maybe even red would be a good color, but when I hit that it's going to close. You can also have somebody trip some, anything in here, maybe a block update under the floor. They walk in and it would trigger it to close behind them unless they know where it is. There's all kinds of things you could do with this. And so now we need a temporary open for this door, which means we need another input, which we do not want to put next to that piston. So I'm thinking there, and I'm going to use a spacing in between here like this, and I'm going to go ahead and use green. So this is going to be my temporary open the door, which you can do this all kinds of ways, but this is the easiest way. So this is going to need some delay on it. Alright, so this should work. What we're going to need to do is just put in a pulse lengthener in here. So this is what I'm going to do, is just hook up a pulse lengthener right there. That should give us plenty of time to get in and out of this door. So at this point, when I hit the green button, there you go. Now, depending on what you're making, you're going to have to either use, I have a Q&A, I think it's the last episode I did, which was episode 3 or 4, where I show you how to make different pulse lengtheners. So if you're interested in making a bigger version of this, you're definitely going, if you want to hook this up to a 3x3 door, for instance, you're going to at least need a 5 to 6 second. Alright, so now that we've got everything hooked up, we just need to test it. So I did want to show you guys how much faster a circle within a circle is compared to if you were to do, even if you knew the digits. On the other keypad there's 3 ticks of delay, and then on some of them there's only 2. So by making these little adjustments and making them all the exact same time, you can do this pretty fast. So let's go ahead and do it. There you go. That's pretty much as fast as I could do it. So anyway, yeah, the chest room. So we have a reset. So there's our reset. So obviously you could have some, say, redstone ore, and when they walk in here, you could have the whole floor redstone ore, and then when they touch it, it updates something underneath. Closing the door behind them, they're stuck in here and they have to dig out. You could also have the room filled with lava or whatever. And then of course you could have some kind of torch key to prevent that. So temporary open, go and walk on out. There you go. So that's it. You can see that we got all that fit into this is a pretty big area for this latch array. That's why I usually never make anything more than a 4, but that is the 9 digit. And yeah, alright, have a good one. Later.